They are people, our people. For the most part, no different from the rest. They raise families, attend church, worry about schools and taxes and the cost of living. But in some respects, they are different, because what they do and how they do it make them different. Unlike the rest of us, they control a power and a technology that to most Americans is incomprehensible. A power that can reach across the miles to touch in a most unforgiving manner those who would break the rules governing the behavior of nations. Our people are now on the other side of the world, somewhere east of Suez. They are part of the best Air Force in the world, doing things no Air Force has ever done, that no other Air Force can do. And they're doing it with a dash and a dedication and a precision unmatched by anyone, anywhere. They are part of Desert Shield and Desert Storm, the largest, fastest, most efficient deployment of people, planes, and equipment since D-Day, with more ton miles airlifted in 1 month than during the entire 15-month Berlin airlift. It was MATS then. It is MAC today, ready with a seemingly endless stream of transports to carry the goods, to carry the equipment, the supplies, the people needed to maintain and sustain our forces in the desert. Some said that in the early hours of the operation, there were so many MAC missions over the Atlantic that you could walk across the ocean on the back of their aircraft. But when the balloon first went up, it was TAC and USAFE that sent the fighters that stopped Iraq from heading south, with TAC's first wing in the lead, leaping off less than 24 hours after the word came to execute, then flying non-stop, a distance equal to a trip from Chicago to Hong Kong, and then turning the planes and sending them back out on combat air patrol. How did it happen? People made it happen. Air Force people.
I think it can be summed up in maintenance. Iraq invaded Kuwait, and we were not yet tasked. The little kids come in with their bags. Little 18, 19, 20-year-old guys come in carrying their bags. They're ready to go. They weren't tasked. Nobody knew we were going to go to war or we were going to go over here and try to stop a war. And yet they're walking in with their bags saying, hey, this is our job.
The people responded superbly. One time I was out in the flight line there in those first few days at George Air Force Base, and I saw a young airman that I had seen there hour after hour after hour. And I asked him, how long have you been out here? And he said, well, 48 hours, sir. I said, what are you still doing out here? And he says, I've got my buddies that are going to get on this airplane, and I'm going to make sure that it's packed right and they've got the right equipment, and I'm not leaving until it's ready.
The entire spectrum of tactical air power was soon in theater, providing senior leaders with a broad range of options: fighter, attack, recce, command and control. But TAC and MAC were only part of the team. It was Strategic Air Command that helped the fighters and big airlifters make the long trip, with aerial tankers offloading millions of gallons of jet fuel in flight, giving the fighters the long legs they needed, and helping the transports fly farther and faster without sacrificing payload. And it was SAC's venerable B-52s that provided a conventional punch unmatched in gross tonnage by any other airplane, and teaching the Iraqi Republican Guard that 1,000-pound bombs can have a disturbing effect on entrenched positions. But just as remarkable as the performance of our regular force was and is the response of our Air Guard and reserve units. The call went out and they answered. A virtually seamless blending of talent and determination. Trained to fly and maintain the same airplanes, performing the same missions as their active counterparts, these special patriots are doing what many talk about, but few dare to do, to leave home and job and family to take up the sword in defense of their country. They truly are part of the team. If this war has unsung heroes, it is the ops planners, the people who tie it all together to make it happen, marshaling forces, organizing strike packages, arranging airlift, and deconflicting airplanes in what has to be the most crowded sky in the history of aerial warfare. You know where they'd rather be, but they're not. They're where they're needed most, doing the job and winning the war. But winning that war can be done in other places as well, places far removed from the battlefield. It can be won by giving air crews and those who support them the best medical care possible, Medical care that eclipses in both speed and accessibility what was available in Korea or even Southeast Asia. Making the difference today, a remarkable air-transportable hospital, a 50-bed community-sized medical center that can be set up in hours by the same people who man it, the doctors and nurses and med techs who treat the patients. And wars can be won on the home front as well, by tightly knit military communities that care for their own, who have made sure that this time the husbands and wives and children of those who have deployed are not forgotten, that the bases and all who remain to man them open up their facilities and their hearts to keep the little families a big part of the Air Force family. It's happening today at bases around the country through family support centers and the active and strong support of commanders and first sergeants. And it's helping all of us, those at home and those so far away who are carrying the fight to the enemy. And it is for them that another effort is made to keep them informed, to let them know the course of the war, the cause for which they fight, and to keep those ties that bind them to an America now suddenly 8,000 miles away secure and strong through radio and television and newspapers, through a sense of continuity and security that only news from home can bring. It is important. It is vitally important, because this Air Force of ours is more than technology. It is more than titanium and steel and graphite composites and flowing electrons. In the final analysis, it is still very much a thing of flesh and of blood. It is still a hand on the stick. It is still a grease-stained maintainer who helps to keep it there. Understand that Desert Shield and Desert Storm and the parts we play in them are not just reams of data and statistics that pour out of computers and into the media. They are people. They are our people. And today we honor them and praise them for what they have and are doing, for what they have accomplished for all of us, for their country, for America.